All right, and we are back, and it is our discussion topic, and we are talking the. Sean actually cheated a little bit and had two nerding outs, which is cool. It's cool. I've many times come in with like 50,000 things and then narrow it down to like two or three. And we actually did this last year with our guests where we talked about the DC TV shows. And I think what better time to do this than the week before the crossover event. And so first off, let's set this up. Sean, are you watching all the DC TV shows, or are you like me and not watching Gotham?
Okay, so I am all caught up on Legends and Flash and Arrow. I'm a couple episodes behind Supergirl, and I stopped watching Gotham about halfway through last season, but I went back and finished it on Netflix, and I have everything from this season on my DVR, so I will be caught up on Gotham by Christmas. So, yes and no.
It gets better.
No,
it's worth it. That's one thing I spoke so bad about it, but yes, they recuperate.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That show, it's like some shows are hit or miss. That one, it's like episode by episode, it's hit or miss with Gotham. Either some episodes are really good, or some episodes just you watch it and you go, that didn't do anything to advance anything, So but this, I'll tell you, the stuff on CW. If you had told me even 3 years ago that I would be watching something on CW every night of the week, because I also love Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. If you were to tell me that I was going to be watching something on CW every night, I would have told you were smoking crack, because I'm not a 19-year-old girl. But man, they have been just knocking it out of the park. And for me, it's everything starts with Legends. I love that show. The concepts of it, the humor in it. One of my favorite characters of all time is Jonah Hex, and seeing him pop up a couple times on that show has been a lot of fun, even though this last time they took some real liberties with his backstory, but I guess we don't need to go there, but yeah, that's where I am on the DC stuff. I watch it all basically, and love it to varying degrees. So
no, yeah, that's cool, because I fell out and I tried the first episode of season 2 of Gotham, going because Dave's like, oh my gosh, you gotta like the show. I think you really like it. And Dave knows my sensibilities, knows how I am. And so I trusted him, and I'm like, all right, watch it. And I'm like, yeah, not sold. And it's bad because I like the actors. I like the people involved in the show. Yeah. It's a little weird that the Cameron Monaghan, the actor who plays Jerome, that was my first encounter with him. I hadn't seen Shameless until after Gotham, and I'm like, wait, isn't that the dude who plays the like Jerome? And he's still doing double duty. And I'm like, holy crap, dude! How are you doing double duty on Shameless and Gotham? How busy are you?
Everything became instantly better when Morena Baccarin showed up. She's the goddess.
Well, yeah, but even that didn't save it for me.
Yes, it did. Fuck you. It did.
For me, not for you. For me, it didn't save it.
Wait, how is Deadpool's girlfriend the medical examiner in Gotham? That doesn't make any sense.
Because she's the wife of Jim Gordon.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, like it is like you said. Like if you would have said, like same thing with me. If you would have said, "Hey, you're going to be watching, something from the CW every single week, and it's not going to be girly," because I would have been like, "Wait, really? Are you sure about that?" But
Remember some years back when I asked you, CW is doing the stuff right. You think it's going to be more exciting and stuff like that. CW, are you fucking kidding me? No way.
no, yeah.
Well,
No, because
I was watching Supernatural, so yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of it is like even now, like I'm watching the let me see, I'm watching the DC stuff, the superhero shows, plus Jane the Virgin, No Tomorrow, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and then I think that's it out of the shows.
Is Frequency on there?
Yeah, Frequency's on there, but I'm like, the movie was okay.
Yeah.
Such a loose concept for a show that I don't see, like, it could be popular right now, but I don't see longevity out of that show.
I heard good.
Yeah, that's one.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's one I'm gonna wait till it's on Netflix to binge because I'm too unsure of where that show is going. So
The 100 is on the CW, isn't it?
Yeah, but the 100 is on usually during the summer. Like they get.
I heard some people I trust also talking good stuff about it. They think there's the best show on CW even.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about the 100.
Yeah. Right now it's like, so we're in the middle of the DC superheroes. They're the Arrowverse of shows, and I'm slowly starting to see how we're leading up to the crossover, which is cool. Actually, Shawn, I will ask you this question though: how do you feel knowing that your Thursdays will be freed up once Legends of Tomorrow moves over to Tuesday?
Oh, well, I didn't know that was happening, so
because it's happening because the show No Tomorrow, which is pretty clever. If you've seen the show Gallivant, the lead in there is in here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's clever. It's got a good premise. It's quirky like Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, but not Crazy Ex-Girlfriend at the same time. I mean, there's
that's a different level.
Yeah. But I guess the viewers aren't there for the show, so it's probably looking like it's not going to get renewed. So so Legends is going to get moved over, but then it's only like that. From what the article I read, it's not going to be for very long, sort of thing. Because I mean, we got iZombie coming in.
Yeah, I don't like them moving shows around, I think, but here's the other part of that. In this DVRs, how many of these shows are we really watching live? Because I'll be honest, I don't watch any of the DC superhero shows live. I don't, like, even on Sunday nights when I watch Walking Dead, I technically don't watch it live because I wait till about 9 to start the recording so I can skip the commercials. So I don't do live television anymore unless it's sports or news. It's about the only thing I watch live. So it's really not going to affect me too much that it moves to Tuesday. Hopefully it doesn't have a negative impact on the audience is the only thing I would worry about. But I think Legends is pretty solid right now. So I don't think, like, their numbers are good for the CW. They're in line with the other superhero shows. So, and right now that's where CW is making its bread and butter. So I don't really worry about it, this being the kiss of death or something being moved around like other shows I would worry about. But, I think it's fine. And maybe it picks up Tuesday nights, Flash. So maybe it picks up some of the people who were watching Flash and haven't watched Legends and brings them back over when it moves to Thursdays again. But I mean, I think the setup right now of having one a night really is kind of, because it spreads them out without overdoing it,
Yeah. And it does make sense because even, like, honestly, what I would love to see is you pick up, since iZombie is technically a comic book TV show, it's not in that same universe. I would love to see a full season order of both Legends and iZombie, and then you throw iZombie in on that Friday night slot, especially with Vampire Diaries getting canceled.
Right, yeah, because that one's coming off, yeah.
Yeah. And like, because this is the thing, is like I heard with because we sometimes do the fall TV previews, and it'll be like, all right, CW has a lot of shows that have both gotten renewed and have gotten and they're new. How they only know they have so much time in a week, right? Like, are they going to do Saturdays? How are they going to do all these shows? But yeah, so getting to the article that will be in there, this is the beat showing right now from Collider. We have the 4-night crossover event to happen next week.
Spoiler warning.
Yeah, there is some spoiler warnings here in that article. What I will say is I'm excited for this, and what I want this to do, which I don't think is going to happen, is to link Supergirl in better with the rest of the Arrowverse. I mean, I've seen reports that I think were more rumors that Martin Stein will be in, or will be staying over in with Supergirl for a little bit and stuff like that after this. But I just want to see like this more fluidity to where we get this like truer to comic books where, oh well, we need Vibe over on Supergirl. Okay, well, there it is. There you go. Or we need, these minor little crossovers that they can do, like they did with Felicity after Flashpoint and all that, because it would make sense. It would make more sense, especially since you did all this advertising of Supergirl being on the CW, doing the Superhero Fight Club 2.0, and yet she's in her own little bubble.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be nice to see them be able to marry everything together. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but it would be nice to have them all on the same universe. Although Flash has already shown up on Supergirl, so it's already been proven that he can bounce back and forth between them. So, I guess there's still ways to play with that. I mean, if they needed Vibe on Supergirl, they could always just, have Barry Allen run him over there. So I guess there's ways around it, but yeah, it would be better to have it more seamless. I don't know. I'm this because this harkens back to a time when we had 5-part miniseries television. Like if you remember, maybe not, you guys might be a little bit too young to quite remember, but the show V in the 80s, when it first started, was a 5-part miniseries, which then became a full-blown television show and then ended with another 5-part miniseries. You had the North and the South, you had Shogun, you had all these miniseries television that came out. And that's essentially what we're getting out of this, is one long 5-hour story, because I guess it's in 5 parts. It's going to loop back around to one of them, is my understanding of it. I guess it starts on Flash and ends on Flash, is the way that I understand it. So it's, that's basically what we're getting back to, is mini-series television with this. So I'm kind of excited to see if this kind of thing is successful, how much more of it we'll get from these shows that have these shared universes like that.
I think there's a logistical question that is in the room, because if you have them crossing over each time, they want to have their pay cut. So that could be limiting to the amount of episodes they can do that, as you say. But I'm all in, of course.
But to that point, you've already seen Wentworth Miller. I'm blanking on the actor who plays Martin Stein.
Victor
Garber. Who else? John Barrowman. Like, you've seen all these people. Damien Dark. I can't think of his name either. Neil. Oh God. Fuck. Guy who plays Damien Dark. Yeah, Neil McDonough. They're all on contracts for the Arrowverse,
right?
Not for one show. So that's what I think we're going to see more of.
That we already have in Legends, so he shows up all the time, Damien Dark. So
yeah,
I'm
but
just saying
his contract is but their contracts are more for in this universe. It's more just a general contract for these shows.
We assume the contracts, how they are done, that's a thing for Hollywood, so we wouldn't know exactly what is done. But how I'm a bad person when I pity Brandon Ralph, seeing all the other people getting the Superman role, because he was pretty good. I'm not a fan of the movie completely, but it was better than we had afterwards.
I like the guy that they had for that they got for
Supergirl,
for Superman on Supergirl. I would love. I know it's not going to happen, but I would love for like next year's crossover for them to have a moment, just this little tongue-in-cheek moment of the Atom meeting Superman, and be like,
or
you look
nice suit,
or on Earth. What's our number? This dimension. It's Earth 200. I think that our universe has a definite number in one of the comics, but saying, imagine they go there for a moment.
I think it's Earth 9.
And then we see him as Superman, just as a moment, because he hasn't his powers. He has to have a suit and that thing, and he meets a version of himself that is Superman. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, does that make Ray Palmer very happy, or does that throw him into a horrible, unfixable depression on Legends to see that?
I don't know, because right now with how we have him in Legends, he's still trying to get over the fact that they had to blow up his suit.
Yeah. Now, I will say right from the start, seeing Brandon Routh as Ray Palmer in the Atom, just the character itself just smacked of Superman, the innocence, the Boy Scout, so it was, I've always seen a little bit of Superman in this character of Ray Palmer. So seeing him actually do Superman kind of in a wink and a nod thing, I think would actually be really cool.
No, yeah, definitely. And like I'm looking through on the Collider article, and I think it starts with Supergirl, because we mentioned earlier. I think it's just 4 parts, so it's just the week starting with Supergirl, ending with Legends. But the other thing I noticed that I loved is some promo work for each of the posters, where you see an image in the background. I think was the Hall of Justice, if my nerd knowledge is correct there. Which was pretty cool. But then I would also say, to back up why I want Supergirl more involved with Flash and Arrow and Legends, is look back at the Flash and Supergirl crossover. How lighthearted that show was. That episode was in particular. I mean, we were missing music numbers for it to be an episode of Glee.
And that's coming, and I'm ready for it, man.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that, to see it, because of the fact that you have Supergirl, very lighthearted character. You have the Flash, lighthearted character, and Corey's even said it. You got shows like Arrow where it's super dark, super gritty, and which is fine and good. And Legends is all over the place, which is good, because they can be whatever they want to be that week. And then you have the Flash, which is a little bit more lighthearted, but has been going darker with its stories. So it's like we get Supergirl in here, and we have lightheartedness again. Like, that's why I want to see this actually integrated here.
But won't be Arrow feeling like Hawkeye? All these people flying around, having powers, and see, I got an arrow. Okay, yeah, wait here. It could be a mismatch, but he showed how he can keep up with the Flash and the other people. So I was just kidding about that. But let me add fuel to the fire. How would you rank the shows? Which one from best to worst, or not the best?
Just the 4 CW
Shawn?
shows, or are we adding Gotham too?
No.
Well, okay.
Just the straight up
what it would be.
4th.
Yes.
The Gotham one's at the bottom for me, so that's how
Yeah,
I
it would-
rank is.
The cover.
Okay. For me personally, it's Legends of Tomorrow's at the top, Flash is second, Arrow's third, and Supergirl's fourth. But I'll be honest, the difference between first and fourth isn't that much. Well, all right, maybe I should say the difference between second and fourth isn't that much for me. Legends is a clear first for me. The other three are somewhat interchangeable, but right now I feel like it would be Flash, Arrow, and then Supergirl.
Same here.
Yeah. I think I'd have to differ on that with, I would probably put, with all mine being really, really close together. You would have, I'd probably go Flash, then Legends, then Supergirl, then Arrow for me. Just because, like, but again, it's all really close. Like,
Yeah.
like if this was the Olympics, it would be a 4-way tie for first.
Yeah, it's kind of like great pizza, really great pizza, kind of great pizza. It's all great pizza, but so nobody's really going to argue which one's going to be first, second, or third.
Yeah.
We can put them in any order, and the rest of us are probably going to sit there and go, yeah, okay, I'll give you that. But we all have our own personal taste.
Gotham for me is cheese pizza.
Oh, Gotham's a salad.
Domino's. No, but the thing is, Legends really had the highest peak. They were the innocent show, and they had that with the Flash. Before it was clearly Flash for a long time, and suddenly Arrow got a little bit lighthearted and on the better side. No Lara, no Lance, no Lara, and the Flash with the Flashpoint. I hope they can come back from that because it was too early.
Yeah,
my opinion, but that's just me.
It was too early and it was too small. I mean, Flashpoint should have been the crossover, this big crossover event where we get, maybe not these characters as themselves as we know them on the TV shows, but, the alternate, this Flashpoint universe version of themselves, where we have, hell, they've been putting Arrow in the Batman version all this time, where we don't have an Oliver Queen. We have Robert Queen as Green Arrow because his son died when they were stranded on the island for a 5-year journey. I could easily see something like that as opposed to sorry, I had another thought. I'm like, no, that's too much like Batman. Like, we're just basically making Green Arrow Batman here.
Well, and here's the thing I think too with Legends that kind of separates them is they can be more lighthearted, but they have a story that lends itself to characters coming in and out of it and being like to be able to change up the team each year. And they have, with the time travel, they have the best ability to integrate other DC characters like Jonah Hex, like the Justice Society of America. We're getting a much broader, viewpoint because they can travel around. Like, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for them to show up in Gotham in one episode. Now, whether or not they come across Batman or not, but, Arrow takes place in its own city. Supergirl takes place in its own city. Flash takes place in its own city. Legends can go wherever, whenever, and whoever they want. So that, to me, just gives it a much bigger, more epic, more, throw caution to the wind and let's have some fun with it kind of stuff to it.
Yeah.
So that,
and they got rid of the lame ass villain they had in the first season. That was really, I even forgot his name. It's that much out of my memory, but he was the weak point of the show.
Rip Hunter, the captain?
No, the villain.
Oh, right.
Randall Savage.
Randall Savage.
I'm only thinking of his, yeah.
And that
Vandal. That was.
You saw the going up in quality and everything. Not that he's a bad actor. He got what he was handed scripts, but yeah. And you think, I say so, we're going to see Crisis on Infinite Earth first on CW, then we will see it on the big screen.
I could see it happening that way, yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
alluded with the imagery when Superman holded Supergirl in the UA.
Yeah, in episode 2 of Supergirl for the second season. But no, CW's actually started to nail that. Like Walking Dead, I think, is one of the first that I've seen where they would do these moments where it's like, all right, we just took this out of the panel or the cover from the comic book and made it real life. But DC Comics and the CW have more iconic imagery that they could pull from. Like, I'm honestly waiting for, and wouldn't have been surprised if we saw Tyler Hoechling's Superman like holding a car, slamming it on the thing for a moment, or some clever way of doing that to pay homage to Action Comics #1.
Yeah. Well, they did in the episode of Supergirl that Linda Carter showed up at. You had Supergirl doing that little spin move that was very reminiscent of how Linda Carter changed into Wonder Woman. And then they had the great line at the end when Supergirl is gushing over being on Air Force One, and Linda Carter looks at her and says, "You should see my other plane." And it's just so they've got these great, this great source material to pull from in those wink and a nod moments, and you're right, the visuals is something that they could easily do that with too.
Dean Cain, I wouldn't say more because no one's so much more, but
hey,
man,
yeah.
Even then, on both sides of her Earth parents, I mean, you have Dean Cain, who played Superman in The Adventures of Lois and Clark, and then you had, I'm blanking on her name, but she played Supergirl. Helen Slater, I think.
Helen Slater, yep.
Yeah. See, I do good, not on Trivia Geeks. Trivia Geeks, I can't do anything.
Why do you think I host? I've been a contestant on my own show twice and have lost both times.
Well, that just makes you like Thomas Lennon at midnight. I mean, you can't win
exactly.
on your own show.
No, it would look rigged. So now in the Collider article, the first picture under Legends of Tomorrow, so it's like towards the bottom of the article, it's showing a bunch of them. Who is that between Supergirl and Arrow? Standing back a little ways. Because in the back row is Vixen and Steel, and I see Arrow's partner there, and I see Firestorm, Flash, Arrow, and Supergirl. But am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? And does somebody have their suit back? Because that could be a big spoiler right there.
Are you talking that photo there that Beat has pulled up?
Let me take a look here. Yes.
Yeah, that is Ray Palmer's Atom, if that's what you're thinking.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it makes sense because they gave Steel his suit, or Captain Steel or Commander Steel, whatever they're calling him, in last episode. So I'd imagine this episode we're going to see him working on the suit.
See, but didn't Rory give him Captain Cold's gun?
Yeah, which he used to. I could see. Okay, so if you want to do that, I could see him taking parts from that and integrating it into the suit.
See, I thought he was going to become more of Rory's sidekick or partner or whatever. So. Okay, I could see that too. I wasn't expecting to see the Atom suit back, and especially not in a publicity photo. I would have thought that would have been a bigger reveal since it's been such a big part of the storyline so far this season. So
yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, the last photo there of Commander Steel's photo, it looks a little bit like it's just like baseball padding.
Yeah.
like it's catcher's equipment.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah, it still looks good, but it's just like, wait, is he going to stand behind a batter here? Yeah, that photo that Beat pulled up.
Well, it's funny too because like his superpower is turning steel, So covering him up doesn't. I mean, why do you need armor? I mean, I get the concept of wanting the super suit and everything, but it just kind of seems a little silly to me.
I could see it from a production standpoint. I mean, forget the fact that if he's shot with dwarf star alloy bullet, it'll penetrate him. But I could see that from a CGI standpoint of, oh, it's easier to just CGI here and then parts of the arm as opposed to
okay, devil's advocate or Steel's advocate here. It could be that he doesn't want to rip his shorts all the time and other clothes that he has over his metal skin, so it lasts as long.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
But I look at it from the production house standpoint of, we're losing our budget.
Well, while we're taking apart comic heroes, let me tell you about time.
Oh no, trust me, I will do it for every show. I will say this right now, and maybe consider. I don't think it's considered a spoiler, but Supergirl, its budget has been good enough to where this past episode was the first time I'm like, that looks fake. Where the first season, for every single episode, there was something it seems like that I could pick out.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, that seems fake. That seems fake. That seems fake. Come on.
Very last scene worried me a little bit about where we're going with that, but yeah, why not introduce new characters?
Yeah. But yeah, so I think we've covered everything. We've discussed enough on this point here.